How much does your life weigh? Imagine for a second that you're carrying a backpack, and I want you to feel the straps on your shoulders. Feel them? Now I want you to pack that backpack with all the stuff that you have in your life. You start with the little things, the things on the shelves and the things in the drawers, the knickknacks, the collectibles. And you feel that weight as it adds up. Then you start adding larger stuff, clothes, tabletop appliances, lamps and linens, and your TV. The backpack should be getting pretty heavy now. And you go bigger. Your couch and your bed and your kitchen table, and stuff it all in there. Your car, get it in there. Your home, whether it's a studio apartment or a 2-bedroom house. I want you to stuff it all into your backpack. Now try to walk. It's kind of hard, isn't it? And this is what we do to ourselves on a daily basis. We weigh ourselves down until we can't even move. And make no mistake about it. Moving is living. Now, I am going to light that backpack on fire. What do you want to take out of it? What do you want to take out of it? Photos? Photos are for people who can't remember. Drink some ginkgo and let your photos burn. In fact, let everything burn, and imagine waking up tomorrow with nothing. It's kind of exhilarating, isn't it? These are not my words. They come from one of my favorite movies, Up in the Air. As George Clooney's character is a keynote speaker discussing what it's like living up in the air, with no responsibility and no attachment and no comfort from materialistic items. And yes, he is right. It can be exhilarating, but it could also be foreign and sad and lonely. So let us imagine this exercise for real. I want everyone to pause and remove everything from your hands and let the tension go in your neck and let your shoulders drop and let your breath take over. And place that backpack on your shoulder. But let it carry only the items that are essential to moving forward. Only items that will fit what's in your backpack. And forget about what's missing. Don't worry about who you are disappointing or what you left behind. Focus only on what is with you. At funerals, we read, "A time for mourning is a complicated time, filled with many emotions and memories, both bitter and sweet." The words that link the Jewish people and human beings for thousands of years, the words of Ecclesiastes, a season is set for everything. A time for every experience under the heaven. A time for dancing and a time for wailing. A time for birthing and a time for dying. A time for speaking and a time for silence. A time for seeking and a time for losing. The human experience is more than a backpack full of stuff. It is one of growth and accomplishment, of celebration and love, of loss and learning. I could never imagine my life without my loved ones. 18-year-old Jeremy never thought of a world without his own Bubby, never having met his wife or his beautiful girls. And 38-year-old still struggles to fathom life without his Roro. Recently, Jesse and I looked at wedding pictures and we had lost so many people from our wedding. There they danced and they celebrated my uncle, our cousins, grandparents, friends Steve Baum and Etta Jonas, people who surrounded my life and filled it with memories and love, not stuff. But are we still moving? Yes. And are we still living? Yes. This pandemic has led us here to the now and has forced me to stop and pinpoint blessings, to smile with my children every day, to relish in knowing that I love my life's work. Because during COVID-19, we lost a lot of stuff. Maybe it's money and hobbies, maybe even consistency or a brand that made us feel confident. But not one single soul would ever keep those items over the ones they lost, the people that are now missing, to stare into their eyes again, to hold their hand. Couples separated to save lives, parents not seeing grandchildren grow up, for these pains are far greater. For these pains only know the wailing and the silence. Our backpacks should not be full of stuff. They should be full of love. They should be full of human interactions, fights and debates, hugs and kisses, memories and moments. The keynote speech continues. Now, this is going to be a little difficult, so stay with me. You have a new backpack, only this time I want you to fill it with people. Start with casual acquaintances, friends from the workplace, friends of friends. And then move into people you trust with your most intimate secrets, your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, your brothers, your sisters, your parents, and finally your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, or your girlfriend. And get them all into that backpack. And don't worry, I'm not going to ask you to light this one on fire. But feel the weight of that bag. And make no mistake, your relationships are the heaviest components in your life. Do you feel the straps as they cut through your shoulders? All those negotiations and arguments, the secrets and compromises, you don't need to carry all of that weight. You don't need to. Set that bag down. Some animals were meant to carry each other, to live symbolically for a lifetime. Star-crossed lovers, monogamous swans. We are not those animals. The slower we move, the faster we die. We are not swans, we are sharks. Let us again imagine this exercise for real. To pause. To remove everything from our hands. To let go of the tension in your neck. To let your shoulders drop. And let your breath take over. And place a new backpack on your shoulders. And place the people you love inside. The ones you have lost. The ones who read you to sleep. The ones you miss. The ones you don't want to live without. And don't worry about who you left behind. Focused only on who is with you. How they can help you move forward. Who will lift you up in times of sadness? Who will you first hug when we can hug again? Our relationships are what define us. We will yell at them. We will fight with them. We will forgive them. And they will forgive us. In a recent class I took online with Professor Ben Sommer at the Jewish Theological Seminary, he noted that the mourner's Kaddish is a way to acknowledge that aspects of a person survive after death because their loved ones survive and they are present, invoking the deceased's memory. Our rabbis believe that it actually helps the living and the deceased. Children recite the mourner's Kaddish, and that produces merit for their parent after life. Today, we take a rock and we place it on a headstone when we visit a cemetery, acknowledging that we were present, leaving a piece of us behind. But in our history, we learn from the Assyrian prayers that people, the Jewish people, we would leave water and wine and oil and pour them onto the grave. In this they were honored. Our deceased were honored, and we were still there. This is not to suggest that our relationships with the deceased, this is to suggest that our relationships with the deceased does not leave us. And it shouldn't. We grow from it. We evolve because of it. And the materials are nothing more than the reminders of our past. Money and materialism pale in comparison to the memories instilled in your minds, because they have, those memories, inherent value. Not monetary value, rather the value that teaches us lessons and progresses our family and nourishes our souls. I had a backpack moment about 7 years ago when my parents sold the home I grew up in. This was emotional for me on many levels. First and foremost, it was the only house that I have called home. My dorm room never counted, neither did my fraternity, nor the apartments at JTS or in Israel, not New Rochelle, not 740, not Bayard Avenue. Those were houses. They were living quarters. They were not homes. Secondly, I had a little baby, Annie, and wanted her to know the warmth my parents provided in that home. I had not been back to that house until this summer, when my buddies and myself, of course our masks were on, took a walk late at night and passed by it. It looks nothing like the house I grew up in, but I was happy for the new family. Their memories will grow there as mine did. The physical structure was irrelevant. In the backpack of my life, very few, if any, of the items from that home would make its way onto my shoulders. But all of the people who filled it would be right by my side. If we have learned anything from COVID-19, it should be that our backpacks are filled with people, not products, with love and not hate. But backpacks, regardless of what we remove, can still overflow. And it's not easy to cut things out of our lives, and it's even harder to remove people. So we have Yizkor. Rabbi Shoshana Boyd Gelfand writes of Yizkor, "It is not intended as time to reflect our memories accurately. Rather, it's designed to allow those memories to adapt. Without the corrective of actual physical evidence or the balance provided by others' recollections, Yizkor provides us our own private moment, an ongoing relationship with our loved one." So today, I encourage all of you to draw on the memories you have placed in that backpack. The people, not the fights or the images of imperfections. After all, those moments do not matter in this moment. What matters are the memories you want to draw on, the memories that provide you balance and continue the ongoing relationship. Rabbi Boyd Gelfand continues. She writes, "After they die, we cannot focus on every single detail of a loved one's life at the expense of the larger whole. Through the selective perception of Yizkor, we allow static memories to adapt and develop. The people we remember may be gone, but our relationship with them continues to evolve. Don't let that backpack of life weigh you down. Let the tension go from your shoulders and remove the guilt and suppression. That is what Yizkor is for, to continue the relationship with your loved ones, to grab pieces that bring that loved one's memory back to your life, the lessons that we carry with us, and allow us to check in and see if we are doing our best on carrying on without them by our side. And take your backpack and fill it with new ideas and memories of love. In this way, you never lose, but you will always learn. Learn from family, learn from life, learn from your surroundings. Memories can be tricky. Sometimes they fade. Sometimes they reconfigure scenarios. Sometimes details are remembered differently by different individuals. But memories always stay with us the way we want them to. And in that way, our loved ones are still very much with us. Because moving is living. And our memories are alive. And Yizkor is the meeting place for all those we have lost to come together once again. They are not merely up in the air. They are with us in our hearts and in our souls, fully participating in the lives we live now. And for that, and for today, we need to keep moving so we can keep living. Gamar Chatima Tova.